All righty, welcome to the OnlyBets Sports Podcast on your Tuesday. Looking forward to a good day ahead. Bounce back for me. I went 0-1. Yankees pushed, Phillies lost. That was embarrassing. 3 bad road losses in a row for Christopher Sanchez. Kind of still want to bet him next time out, though. We're going to see who he plays. The public will still be on him, so it makes it a lot more difficult to get a good number on it. Prince, looking back at yesterday, Mexico keeps it within 1, so that cashes. Mexico plus 9.5. Bahamas team total over 93.5 fails by 1. I think they scored 91, so I guess they missed by 2. Drew, welcome in. How you doing, buddy? And how did you do yesterday? If you can't hear me, just re-request. I apologize. It's fun here. Can you hear me now? That's a lot of fun. All right, we're going to get to it in just a minute, but recapping yesterday, wow, what a game. I made a joke to my wife yesterday after the USA lost to Belgium, and I was like, half of America is going to wake up tomorrow and just pretend they weren't enjoying soccer for the last month and a half. Unfortunate. Well, hopefully we get everybody back on. Man, hold on a second, guys. Sorry. Hopefully this feed is good. I'm not sure what's going on with the connection today. That really stinks. All right. Looking forward to today. We got a great MLB slate. Oh, Drew, are you in? Come on, Twitter.
Oh, there we go.
Work.
It worked.
Yeah, there we
Yeah.
are.
Third time's a charm.
Thank you. Being awkwardly quiet by myself is not a good look for myself. From what I understand, Dodgers. Oh no, sorry, Kyle Freeland. Who was Kyle Freeland playing against yesterday? It was the Dodgers, right?
Yes.
And they hit nicely, very nicely against him yesterday, despite the low pitch count.
Yeah, I was very surprised that I wasn't surprised they took him out, but the Rockies have been one of those where, hey, if our pitcher, quote unquote, dies out there, they die out there, they'll leave him in regardless of how many runs they given up. But Kyle Freeland he was doing well the first 3 innings. In the fourth and fifth inning, I believe he gave up like 6 runs. He was getting knocked around. He's one of those pitchers that you'll see. He won't strike out much, but he won't really walk much people as well. And so he had a 71, I think, pitches only going into like the 6th inning, 71 to 72. And then they took him out, put it like, I think it was Agnos in. So that was really good to see. I was like kind of worried. I was like, they'll probably keep him in because he has that. But he had 6 runs and he was getting hit around like decently. Rockies made some questionable decisions that game, but it is the Rockies. So 1-1 on the day because of the Portugal double chance, them allowing a goal and like I think it was like the 79th or 80th minute. So yeah.
I really thought Portugal was the better team for the most part of that game. They had the better shot creation. Just from my perspective of looking at it, not a professional like Prince or Brad, but I really thought that the game could have gone drastically different if just one goal was scored earlier than like the 85th minute. Unfortunate, but we move on. Baseball today, lot of good stuff going on. Speaking of, not an official pick for me. Well, it is an official pick for me on my premium channel, but I kind of expect the Colorado to struggle again today. Michael Lorenzen's on the mound. I'm curious to see where you're going for your pitcher prop. Where are you going? Where are you going, Drew?
Oh yeah. So I was what was it? There was one line that I was looking for, but it's not necessarily loading. So you can go ahead with your picks first, and then I'll go with my pitcher prop.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, we have a number of great pitchers today. We have Jacob Mizorowski, Tariq Skubal, Jacob DeGrom, Zach Wheeler, Brian Wu, Paul Skeens. And then I can mention, I guess, Max Meyer and Peyton Tolley. I think they're kind of like the next two up on the slate. But we're dealing with 5 or 6 pitchers that I regularly bet on. So it was a little bit hard for me to decide. Now, if you're on my premium channel, I put out 11 plays today. Hopefully it doesn't burn me too badly, but I think I'm in a good spot. The model's been pretty solid this past week. I'm gonna go with the Tigers, though. I think that they have the best shot out of the well, all of these games really to have the best impact. Looking at it here, Tigers are on a winning streak. They are headed home after a great road trip, which is sometimes cause for concern, right? You go back home, you get a little lazy or distracted. But the Athletics are in the exact opposite direction here. They are in a very solid losing streak, going on the road after a rough home series. So again, different directions that the clubs are going in, and we have Tariq Skubal on the mound. So yeah, I have to bet it. Um, I don't necessarily see a lot of runs. They're facing JT Jin, who is having a nice season overall. But the control can be an issue from him. He has given up 3+ runs in 3 of his last 5 games, and this directly correlates to his 20.9% strikeout rate to a 10.5% walk rate. That shows obvious control issues. And again, I think this might be a little bit due to the dip in his velocity. He's not able to get this fastball to where he wants it, and I think the Tigers will be able to take advantage. Skubal, for comparison, has elite control. He has a 29.5% strikeout rate to a 3.1% walk rate. The barrel rate to hard hit rate is coming down nicely. It's now league average, starting to get below. I wouldn't be surprised if in a week or two we would see the complete underlying elite metrics that we're used to seeing from Skubal. Generally, the Athletics hit worse on the road and have fallen off offensively, ranking 23rd in the last couple of weeks, while the Tigers have ranked 17th. Also, in the bullpen over the last couple of weeks, the Athletics ranked 20th, while the Tigers rank 11th. Tigers have won 5 of their last 6 games by 2+ runs, and I like that trend to continue here. What say you, sir?
Oh yeah, I like that a lot. Honestly, if something I was looking at, it's not necessarily um like great value, but the fact that it's telling me that Scooble is especially against an A's team that's hot offense, his outs is at 18 and a half. This is not my bet, but it shows you right now. He hasn't covered 18 and a half since he came back from injury. So this is Vegas telling me that they believe, Scooble is bound to have one of these, like classic, like 7 innings pitch games and do well. So that's very telling by Vegas, especially for a hot A's team. And Scooble hasn't been quite 100% the same since his injury. So I found that interesting for that matter. And I never not like to back up Scooble regardless of how he's been performing.
Yeah, and to your point, he has progressed nicely since the injury. He was a little bit shaky coming out, which is expected from anybody coming back from injury. But he went toe to toe with the Yankees last time out. I think he went 6 innings, 6 full innings, 1 run allowed. Very much interested in seeing that trend continue. I think that I have seen enough personally where I think that he's going to do really well. But where are you going for your play of the day?
Yes, this one. So the one I was going to, because I always like to have a backup, it was Lorenzen under 15 and a half, but he did move to 14 and a half, and his 15 and a half in other books aren't necessarily like great value. So I'm going to go with the other one. It can be horse scary with this one because when it comes to the manager of the Reds, sometimes they'll leave the pitcher in, but I'm going to go with Andrew Abbott under 16 and a half outs. Last time we bet him, it hit. He hasn't covered 16 and a half outs in his last 4 games. And if you look, 16 and a half outs means he can't pitch 5.2 innings or more, so he can't get 2 outs into the 6. But they're playing Great American Ballpark against the Phillies, and I think this does matter when they compete against an ace pitcher like Zach Wheeler, where there'll be like pressure on the other side. Andrew Abbott has not had a control like we're used to. He's had some serious walk issues. I think he's averaged like 3 walks per game his last 4 games, and they're playing at Great American Ballpark where it's supposed to be 85 degrees. Yes, it'll be at night, but 85 degrees, 62% humidity. The ball is going to travel always there, and along with the heat. And they're facing, of course, a Phillies team that has been extremely hot. Andrew Abbott does have a history against the Phillies. Overall, I think they're hitting like 300 against them. Kind of like similar stats against like Freeland. Phillies do worse this year against lefties because, of course, of like Harper. They have a lot of lefties like Harper, Schwarber, Marsh is a lefty, and so on. But you have Bryce Harper playing like an MVP candidate. Of course, everybody's coming to second to Shohei, but I'll still say he's playing like that. Schwarber's been hitting bombs, so. and they're usually really good at taking walks when they need to take them. They can be overly aggressive sometimes, but I believe they can knock him out before the sixth inning in this case.
Yeah, I don't mind this at all. He has a 4.75 ERA at home this year, which is quite atrocious. Not exactly the Andrew Abbott that we're used to seeing. And even though he pitched pretty well against Philly the first time this season, he only went 5.1 innings, giving up 1 run. So I think that they can push him. To your point, he is struggling with control. He has a 10.8% walk rate, which is very below league average. And not in the good way. His strikeout rate's only 17.5%, and the rest of his underlying metrics really are all slightly to very below average of the league. Yeah, I'm on board. Personally, I did choose Philly on the run line as one of my premium plays. I do see Philly knocking him out early, so I'm very happy to be able to bet against him personally as well.
Yeah, let's go. I love that a lot. I saw that play. Uh, you post in our chat, and like it's something with the course, like we see pictures that we're not used to, and like walking in we haven't. And I know we say there's always positive regression, but for Abbott it's been continuing the whole year. They're already like 15 plus starts in, so the fact that we're still seeing his walking is not an issue. I'm not going to believe it until I see it again, that his walking would be an issue. We're just used to him always having control using the paint, because since he doesn't throw heat, he needs to be one of those pitchers, and since he hasn't been, that's been hard for him to be extremely successful. Like, don't be wrong, he's not giving up like a lot of like runs. Like we see, he's not having like 7 runs, but he's giving his pitch count is going high because of his control, and he's giving up like 2 or 3 runs, which knocks him out early.
Yeah, something that's interesting, just looking at the underlying metrics here, the pitch run value, and you can find this at Baseball Savant. Go to the matchups. You can go to each individual pitcher, click into the pitcher, and you can see a lot of their underlying metrics and stats. The pitching, his fastball, breaking ball, and off speed stuff has fallen off from being in the top 15 to 20% of the league to being in the bottom 25 to 40% of the league, which is not a good direction. The only thing that's a positive direction is his ground ball rate, but it's still only sitting at 41.5%. So nothing that I really think that Philly won't be able to handle. To be fair, I bet on Philly yesterday, and they laid the most absolute dud you could possibly find. I think that they ended the first 3 innings with bases loaded. The first 3 innings, bases loaded, and were only able to score 1 run. That was extremely disappointing. Not what I expected from the great Christopher Sanchez. All right, Drew, any last comments or thoughts? We do have a little bit more time because Prince is not with us today. Any game that you're particularly interested in? Like I said, I have like 11 plays across today. Any angles that you want to hear about or something?
Yeah, so no, but something I will say, I'm glad you referenced baseball reference. I love looking at baseball reference across the board of everything, whether like expected ERA, like they're comparing their last year's stats to what their whiff percentage was, and their put away pitches is one of the thing I that's a big telling sign, is if their put away pitches have changed over the time. But I would say a game that I think will be a relatively like interesting game will be the Angels versus the Rangers. We have Soriano versus like DeGrom. That is definitely one game I'm interested in. And another game that I am actually interested in seeing is the Yankees at the Rays. Those games are always fun to watch, especially with like Will Warren versus Ian Seymour, and the A's being I mean the not the A's, the Yankees being like plus money. So I it's rare when you see the Yankees plus money no matter where they play.
Yeah, to your point, I do not have a play in the Rangers game. Couldn't get around to either side, but I did put a half a unit on the Yankees. It's not even a premium play. This is something that I just played myself as a Yankee fan. Like you said, if you're going to give me the Yankees at plus money, I have to take that. That's just good value, especially since the Yankees seem like they have woken up offensively a little bit. Thank you, Trent Grisham, for being back in the lineup, and a few other people. So, yeah, I'm on board with that. I kind of wish somebody that I'm following would play them so that I could just play it for a full unit, you know? But what are you going to do? All right, let's get into World
I will
Cup
say one more
today.
thing real
Oh, yeah.
quick. If you guys want to show to all the listeners, I just love watching this guy pitch. First game of the day, 11:15 Pacific time. I believe it's 2:15 Eastern time. Jacob Mizorowski. Love watching him pitch.
Yeah, I'm on the Brewers on that game run line. If you guys are listening, that's a game that I am interested in backing. Jacob Mizorowski is pitching way too well right now not to be able to back him. So sure, could things go wrong? Yeah, but do I think they will? No. Oh, speaking of the Yankees, by the way, yesterday, and this is only because I have a platform and you guys are stuck listening to me. If you are following me anyway, us anyway, go watch Jose Caballero's at bat yesterday. I think it was in the fifth inning, top of the fifth. Who was pitching against them yesterday? He was pitching a no hitter against the Yankees, and he was doing really solid. Who was it? Sorry, who was the pitcher for the day? Griffin Jacks. That's who it was.
Oh yeah,
Griffin
Griffin
Jacks.
Jack.
So Griffin Jacks had his control on point. He had a perfect game going through the fifth inning, and then missed a pitch here, missed a pitch there, and all of a sudden there were two walks, and he was clearly rattled, but he was still pitching really well, like really well. And Jose Caballero comes up and he's fidgeting and he's taking balls. He challenged the strike and it turned out not to be right. But then he's getting ready for the at bat and he adjusts his little elbow cup over there, and you can clearly see Griffin Jacks unable to get back into the rhythm. And I think Caballero did one of the best at bats. And this is the Yankees of old. This is the Yankees that I grew up in. Make the pitcher throw to you out of rhythm. And boy, did he get a hit. He had a 3-run home run to really get the Yankees up in that game, and then they ended up winning 5-1. But Griffin Jacks was pitching so well, and I was so impressed with Jose Caballero's ability to just keep him off kilter, to get the pitch where he was able to take advantage. And I think it's worth it. If you guys are interested in watching amazing, great at-bats, that is one of the best at-bats I've ever seen, at least in this decade. Sorry. All right, now we can go into World Cup. Drew, what do you got for today? We have some interesting matchups. Argentina plays Egypt at 12, so in 7 minutes, and then Switzerland versus Colombia. And if you guys want Prince's picks, go listen to yesterday's podcast. He has a play on both of these games. But what do you got, Drew?
Yeah, I actually have one here. I actually have one in the Switzerland Colombia game. I personally like Colombia three-way money line at, I believe you can get it at plus 125, three-way money line, which is great value. Colombia has impressed me a lot. They impressed me a lot this World Cup, and I think they've gone 3 games without conceding, and they didn't face a single shot on target in the win over the Black Stars in general. And I just think Colombia to me is the better team, and this is one of those where yes, it's not like two complete powerhouses like we're used to seeing, and stuff like that. But this is where I think you can find the value. Two countries that generally get overlooked a lot at the end of the day. But Colombia, as we know, they've had better history in general. And like as we've seen, yesterday, unfortunately, history in the World Cup does matter, and being prepared for the moment does matter as well too. So yeah, give me Colombia three-way money line.
Yeah, I don't mind that. What's the price on that?
I believe I found it on DK, the three-way money line at plus 125. Yes, plus 125 on DK.
Yeah, I don't mind that. My model agrees with you. Prince does not. So I'm very interested in seeing how this game plays out. I'm kind of just on the both teams to score. I think both of them get it in the net. I don't remember if that was a Prince play or you play or someone else that I'm following or my models play, but I do have both teams to score penciled in for a full unit in the Switzerland Colombia game. So yeah, definitely interested there. Also, any thoughts on Argentina? Any potential problems? Or are they just going to blow out Egypt here?
Yeah, so of course we expect Argentina to be heavily favored, but I think this is still kind of crazy that like Egypt's three-way money line is plus 1,000. And then if you even wanted to do a double chance for Egypt, right, it is plus 220. I would say if someone wants to back Egypt here, I would just do the three-way money line at plus 1,000 rather than I would say doing the necessarily the double chance at plus 220 because that odds discrepancy is some of the biggest I've ever seen for a double chance and three-way money line. So if you wanted just to dabble on Egypt plus 1,000, even if it was like 0.05 units, that wouldn't be that value. I think anything betting Argentina, unless you're betting like they're over on goals or something, is probably the best thing for Argentina when it comes to this. Or if you wanted to bet the over for the total game, the 90-minute total is over 2.5 at plus 100. But I'll probably put some bonus bets on Egypt's three-way money line. I think their to advance is plus 600 as well.
I would go with the over 2.5 at plus 105 over an MGM before betting on Egypt.
Oh, I agree.
I
Yeah.
don't see Argentina scoring less than 2 goals. And then you're basically just waiting for who's going to score that third goal, Argentina or Egypt, without having to worry without, both teams to score or whatever. And I think Argentina could score 3 goals on their own. So yeah, that's kind of the look. I don't have a lot of faith in Egypt today. I really think that they just get hurt.
Oh, as I was saying,
Which
if you want to bet on Egypt, I'd recommend someone using like bonus bets. If anything, I wouldn't recommend putting like actual, I guess, money on Egypt's side. But it's one of those. If you're a believer in Egypt, and if someone believes in Egypt, I'd recommend just to do the three-way money line versus like the double chance, if that makes sense, because the odds discrepancy. So yeah.
sure. I will say my model, which generally heavily favors underdogs, still links Argentina today. I also happen to save all of my bonus bets for the early wedge. Shout out to Sia Najad every single Tuesday night, 7 p.m. The early edge, which is the CBS Sports podcast, they give out an early wedge, which is a golf betting podcast. And I generally save my bonus bets to bet on first round leaders, which we hit 2 weeks ago. Shout out Sia Najad. Yeah, I'm kind of with you. Going to be interesting. I would love to hear what Prince's plays are. Unfortunately, we can't get to them. Also, just saying, Friday, I bet immediately against Belgium. I do not think that they are going to be able to compete in the next level. So just putting it out there, that's something that I bet on personally. Do you know who they're playing, by the way, on Friday? Who did I bet on? Spain. I bet on Spain's three-way money line. And I got that at minus 155. I think you can still find that at around minus 160 in the market in general. I just don't see Belgium being able to really compete here. My opinion, going to be very interested to see what Prince and you guys think about that. Any thoughts quickly on Spain versus Belgium?
No
Or are
thought.
we just going to move on?
Yeah, no thoughts as right now, but I figured since I was going to mention this, I could after this real quick, I could go over my quick good value Heisman odds since college football is coming up in just like a month. So
Hey, why don't you bring us into that now?
yeah, definitely. Of course, we have college football, and it was funny because like I thought about this other day. I was like, oh, we have college football soon because college basketball usually doesn't start until October, and I know when I did join you guys, it was at the tail end of like college football, and that's another sport that I love college football in general. But we'll go to the Heisman odds. Of course, the Heisman odds you can get a lot of good value on the Heisman odds. Something I recommend when you are betting Heisman odds and stuff like that, and futures, try to utilize your bonus bet for futures because remember you won't get these payouts until like 5 or 6 months down the road and stuff like that. And I usually like to target dark horses because usually the heavy favorite, like right now, it's CJ Carr and Arch Manning. Usually won't win necessarily the Heisman. That we see it's like random across the board. Uh, there is I have one sleeper Heisman and one realistic Heisman. My sleeper Heisman is Drew Messamaker at plus 6,500. I think he's one of the most underrated quarterbacks out there. He played for, I believe, North Texas, and he almost led, I believe, like North Texas to the college football playoffs. But now he is playing for Oklahoma State Cowboys. He transferred there, and I think he put up gaudy numbers in the Big 12. In history, we've seen Big 12 people get Heisman's just from putting up their gaudy numbers in general. And I think he can be a sleeper. He has the passing utilities, and he played out a North Texas team that had nobody really to pass to. And he's going to play an Oklahoma State team. Yeah, they aren't necessarily have been great lately, but they do get a lot of offensive talent. The biggest issue with Oklahoma State is their defense. We know that's kind of a Big 12 stands by, except for Texas Tech last year had a great defense. So that's my dark horse one, I'll say.
Yeah, I don't mind it. Send me the names
Yeah.
along with your picks, and I'll be able to put on the recap screen.
So
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I've been getting more and more into college football. My wife is like, "Come on, we had one day without football. Now you're going to give me college football?" And I was just like, "All right, whatever."
exactly. Oh yeah, it just keeps going and
Um,
going. That's my wife's the same way. But for my realistic one that I'm gonna do is he's third place in the Heisman voting at plus 1100, and also this is rare. We're used to seeing like the overwhelming favorite be like plus 300 sometimes, but it's CJ Carr. I think he's for Notre Dame, and then Arch Manning for Texas. But this guy is able to return because of the eligibility, but Chinajad Tam Chambliss for Ole Miss at plus 1100, I think is good value for the realistic side of things. If you can get him at plus 1100, it's really good, or higher, or whatever it is. I would say the cutoff, I would say, is plus 1000. But this is a guy who lit up the college football playoffs. He was originally like, I think, a division. He was a community college kind of quarterback in the way, and then he took Austin Simmons' spot for Ole Miss once Lane Kiffin he got injured, and then Trinidad Chambliss took a spot. And they always say in sports, you get injured, you have a risk of losing your spot, and they made it the right decision. And I think this he's just a man among boys, and we saw how electric he can be. Yeah, he did lose some of his top weapons to the draft, but Ole Miss is going to be able to still, even without I think Lane Kiffin, recruit well, and I think they'll still have a good offensive scheme going without Kiffin. So give me Trinidad Chambliss plus 1100 for a Heisman winner.
Ooh, I like that one. I do. That's a fun one. You always like those little no-name players who made a splash the year before, and then they come in with a little bit of momentum. That's always a fun play, you know?
And also the Heisman, they love dual threat quarterbacks. I've learned.
Yes, they do. Well, I mean, I would say the whole league
Yes.
loves dual threat quarterbacks, and I think you need that. And I think that's well, I should say that was the direction the NFL was going in the last few years. Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, like Josh Allen, like you needed that dual threat to be able to put more
Lamar. Yeah.
pressure on the defense. Lamar, jeez, yeah, sorry, I forgot the best example of all of them, Lamar Jackson. Um, it's going to be interesting to see where, because I think the NFL is kind of sliding back in the other direction now. I don't know if that's true. Do you have any feelings on that where they're starting to bring back the pocket quarterback who can really stand there and deliver? Instead of just taking off. I feel like that's the direction the league is moving in after an exciting little rendezvous on the dual threat quarterbacks. Do you feel like it's changing, or do you think we're still going towards the dual threat quarterback still?
Yeah, I feel like it actually is changing back slowly to that. If you just look to see like I think it's going to the ones that can run when they need to. Like Sam Darnold, great example. Like the Seahawks kind of built a really good formula that they had when they had Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson was a dual threat. Of course, kind of quarterback, but he was always like a pass first guy. But like Sam Darnold, they built a great defense around him, stay in the pocket, run for like 5 yards when you need to. Another great example. I'm not saying he's a top five QB any means, but like Brock Purdy, like he has wheels. He can run when he needs to. And unless you're like Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow or Mahomes, there's not many really quarterbacks that. Unless you're like a unicorn to where they're like searching for, because if you just look to see in general with this draft, like we saw um, Ty Simpson, he got drafted. Matthew Stafford was in the championship game. Drake May runs when he needs to. I know Drake May is a dual threat and he can run, but we see him as like a pass first kind of QB at the end of the day. So I think it's slowly going back because they're realizing like, hey, we need durability for this quarterback role because we see some of these dual threat quarterbacks getting hurt. you can't count Josh Allen. He's a 6'5", 260-pound monster or whatever he is. So
Nope, that's a freak of
yeah,
nature. That's
yeah.
just not the same. He's not the same as everyone else. I think Lamar Jackson is probably the best example of, yes, he is unbelievable when he's on. Yes, you have to worry about his legs, but if he's injured, your team fails, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Jaden Daniels is a good example too.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I will say with a caveat that usually we see people who do incredibly well their first year out generally tend to struggle in their sophomore year. I don't know if that's because people have more film on them or if you're still catching up or whatever the reason may be. We do tend to see some of these amazing rookie all-stars kind of settle down the second year and then they kind of bounce back in their third year. I am interested to see where he goes. I don't have a lot of confidence in Washington's ability to make it. They're playing in a really tough division. Now, do I think the Giants are going to win 8 games? Probably not. But I think that they're going to be a tougher, stiffer competition. And then, of course, you have the Eagles in that division who are probably going to dominate. There's a lot of good teams there. The Cowboys should always be around there. It's just a really hard division to do well in. Anyway, all right, enough with the the
Oh, I will say for
NFL talk.
Jay, and I was talking about more so like with the injury concerns when he like runs and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
that's a
yeah.
big thing. Yeah. He has all
100%.
the talent in the world. It's just he needs to probably gain a little more weight, but also run smarter.
Yeah, that's for sure. Um, Gosh, that man, I really liked how he used VR to get used to the NFL's reaction time because that's the biggest challenge going from college to the professional is being able to keep up with the speed at which you're going to get hit and you have to release the ball. I think in college it's around 4 seconds, if I'm not mistaken, and in the NFL it's about 2.5. So, quicker decisions,
That's cool. I didn't know that.
more pressure. I have to double check the exact numbers, but
Oh
it's
no, I meant
something
the
like
VR thing. That was pretty cool. You said that.
yeah, yeah. They asked him like, "How did you get ready to really play in the NFL at such a high level?" And he was like, "Oh, I do this new VR thing." We were like, "What?" And now that's really starting to catch on, and they're starting to. It's unbelievable. The whole world of VR being able to get up is unbelievable. I have VR golf, and I absolutely love it. Not that I've played in the last year since the last one was born. But let's get to our question of the day here. Any question before I just march into one of them?
Ooh, it's funny because I had a question last night I thought of and I forgot about it. That's how it usually goes.
All right. Would you rather travel back in the past or into the future?
Oh, that is a great question. Um, oh, I would say, and then when we travel, I have a question. When we do travel, it's one of those where we like kind of like a Christmas Carol thing where we see it, we can see this stuff, but they can't see us, right?
I was thinking about physically traveling,
Oh, physically
and
traveling.
but this
Okay.
question really appeared because I watched Idiocracy with my wife yesterday. And if you haven't watched Idiocracy, I think it should be required viewing for anybody and everybody.
I
You've
haven't
seen
seen it.
it. You haven't seen Idiocracy?
Nope.
Oh, dude,
I'll check it out.
it's eerily scary. It gave my wife nausea watching what's happening. I don't want to get political, and we don't have to get political and whatever, but I think it's a wonderful movie and a very good warning system for us to be on the lookout for. Put it that way. But would you rather travel to the past or the future?
I would say this is one of those where I would rather travel to the past because I'm always a believer. I don't like the idea of traveling to the future because then I miss out on some life experiences that I may have like missed out on, you know, whether it was with like, you know, my kids in general, like family and stuff. And all of a sudden I travel in the future and I see all this stuff change. And then they talk about like, you know, like, oh, what about these memories and stuff like that? You know, and then I know if you travel to the future, you can go if you travel to the future about things, you can like you know look at lottery tickets and stuff like that. But I do travel past. 'Cause I'm a big history buff, in that way, and be able to see like certain stuff I wasn't able to see in the future. I'll eventually be able to see it. So If I did travel to the future, it would be beyond when I would still be alive. So yeah, probably the past.
Interesting. I'd like to see the future. I I think people have a rosy depiction of what the past was like. I don't. I'm a little bit of a either you can call me a pessimist or a realist, but the past wasn't great. We are in a much better position now than we ever have been in human history. And I kind of want to see where we go. I mean, granted, if I go 150 years, it might be a nuked Earth with nothing on it. But I'm going to bet on positivity. I think that the future will hold greater medical miracles. If there's any sicknesses, maybe they'll be able to get rid of cancer. I don't know. But I feel like the future holds a lot, and I'd like to see where humanity goes. One thing that I'll bet on is I don't think there'll be flying cars. I really wish there would be. Just don't see it. Although there is new technology coming out for personal helicopter car things. Not really sure what they're called, but they have a vertical takeoff and they're fascinating to watch. And if you guys get a chance, go on YouTube and look at them up. I think there's at least 3 or 4 companies in the world working on these helicopter taxis. Some of them are using them for drone deliveries, and some of them are purposely trying to use them as like an Uber. But it would basically make traveling from Philadelphia to New York, which takes about 2 hours by car, I think it would take about 35, 45 minutes. So a lot of opportunity there. I'm interested to see where the future goes. All right. Any last thoughts, Drew, on the world of sports today?
Uh, no last thoughts on my side of all sports, but looking forward to the World Cup as usual today.
Yes. Well, I guess as soon as we get off this call, I'm going to go put the game on in the break room. All right, Drew, give us your best bets.
Yes, my best bets of the day are Andrew Abbott under 16.5 outs at -106 and Columbia three-way money line at +125.
Thank you, sir. Also, if you can, send me your Heisman winners, the long shot and the realistic shot. I would love to put that on our recap screen as well. And if you don't, we'll get it on in a future episode. No problem. I'm going to be on the Tigers -1.5 at +120 on The Score, previously ESPN. Tariq Skubal, baby. Let's go. That's going to do it for us on our Only Bet Sports podcast for Tuesday with your best bets and analysis. Looking forward to seeing what the rest of the week holds. Unfortunately, no World Cup tomorrow. That's going to be a bummer, but we're going to be in World Cup heaven every single day after that, hopefully with unbelievable matchups. Thank you guys for listening. See you tomorrow.